And good morning and welcome to the Clearwater Broadband Committee meeting for January 29th, 2025. All public meetings are live streamed and recorded. Any written or verbal information provided may be included in public documents as per the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act FOIP 1. I will now call our meeting to order at 8:59 and 39 seconds. And we have an agenda before us. Looking to adopt the agenda. Motion to. Thank you, Councillor Gibson. All those in favor? And that motion is carried. Moving on now to item 3, which is the adoption of the minutes of the Broadband Committee meeting from December 17th, 2024. Any errors or omissions in those minutes? And if not, looking for a motion to adopt those minutes. Okay, thank you, Councillor Melhoff. All those in favor? And that motion's carried as well. Moving on now, we'll go to item 4A, which is in corporate services, which is the broadband update report for 2024. Oh, sorry, for January 24th, 2025. Ooh.
We just gained a whole year.
Yes, yes. Or we're going back.
Excellent. So,
good morning.
Good morning, all. Good morning, Broadband Committee Chair. So the first section is what we've been doing for our communications and our media, which is our Clearwater County Engage incentive, which we've created a new website which has been launched. I think everybody's got links, and it's slowly going out to the public. We're doing, Facebook and all those media things, newspaper, all that fun stuff that many people know how to do. So it's been working out really well. We've been getting some feedback, so we'll probably, maybe at some other time, we'll be able to sort of report on that and get a feel for things, which would be nice. We have set up some meetings to happen in April. I might have the dates wrong, March, April, May sort of areas, but those will go out in the email if people sign up for it, and it'll be posted on the websites, and we'll be doing mailers and all those kind of things so that people can go to different sites and meet with us and talk. So that'll be part of the public engagement planning. And we've been working with our engineering firm with Arcadis to do this. It's definitely not been a lone effort. It's my team and many other people to do this. So we're looking forward to it and go from there.
I've got a question.
Oh, Shirley.
Sorry, that's
Shirley.
Go ahead, Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Reeve. Now that the land use bylaw has been pushed back as well into that April-May timeframe for our public engagement for that, is there an opportunity to put these together? I want us to be as efficient as possible with our time and the community's time, so if rather than having 1 week they have to do a land use bylaw meeting and the next week they have to do a broadband public meeting, like if there's an opportunity to be more efficient and get them all out at one time, I think there might be value in doing that. We
can look at it and see how they flow. I've never been to those kind of meetings, so I don't know the setup, if it's going to be the same physical setup and all those kind of things. So I'd have to reach out and talk to our planning group and see if there's something we can do.
Perfect. I don't think it's been decided yet how they're planning on doing those, so there might be an opportunity, since we're in the infancy of both, to find some efficiencies there.
Sounds good. We've done a lot of the planning already, like it's pretty detailed, but we can certainly work with them. Thanks. Appreciate it.
I have another question.
Surely.
Does this QR code still go to our
website?
website?
That goes to the RigStar in the back end, and it's for the expression of interests.
Okay, so
for that we need to make a new card for the that's coming.
Perfect.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
On the list of.
Okay, or have one cue card on one side and one cue card on the other.
I wonder if we could do that.
That would be nice.
Okay, well, we'll look into it.
Okay, perfect.
Maybe cost prohibitive. I'm cheap. Murray's nodding over there. So that's the engagement piece. We're really looking forward to doing that and finally getting out and doing some things. We've had, signings. I'm just sort of reiterating some signings that everybody knows, but we have a new ISP that signed up. So we have Bearspaw Network that joined in July of 2024, and Stony Nakota that joined in October of 2024, and then Missing Link Internet has joined as of January 2025, and we're working with them on setting up systems and wireless and fiber and all those kind of things with them over the next, little while. Contracts, so that's really good news. We've got 3 ISPs local working with us, and, another thing more to come.
Quick question, in the last update, I believe we had another company that was signed up, Mage, are they still?
Oh, yes, Mage, and Mage was the first one, sorry,
Right.
I
Yeah.
reiterated,
Okay, we're still good with,
yeah, we're still very good with them too.
Perfect. Thank you.
They're moving forward in everywhere they can, I think, too. And that's my faux pas for leaving that off.
that's good.
Thanks for reminding me. So the next sort of area to go over is the broadband, the budget process overview for the Universal Broadband Fund. This is going to be on our websites again for viewing. That's the county website, not necessarily that sign-up website. We're going to try over time to glue it all together so that there's not as many places to go to look for information. So these are just, an idea of what budget we have, what we've gained from the government of Alberta, and I said to the government of Canada for grants, and it's just a good visual for people to see where the areas are we're doing and the areas that we're not, for example. Or a good start anyway. We're gonna be more detailed, very much more detailed. Locate reporting, that's for the locates for all the core backbone that we have, other people digging around our infrastructure and stuff like that. So did pretty good so far. Only one emergency ticket, and that means a pole's been struck or something's in that area, and they want an emergency out. Support tickets about 627 from September 22 to 2025 January. So a fair amount, and I think it's just going to go up from there. Obvious reasons, more infrastructure we put in the ground. Tickets not requiring field actions was about 36%, which is good because that means we don't roll a truck and incur costs. So having that, having those software and people monitoring it makes a big difference in just throwing people out and having a cost relegated to it. So I'll move on to section 5, other project information, and this is just sort of a quick summary of what's going on to date. All the conceptual designs, as everybody knows, they're all done, and we posted our RFPs. This is just sort of a little map of how it sort of roughly looks. And it'll change to when we do detailed design, but for conceptual design, it just gives the people an idea of what we're doing and what we mean by a conceptual design, especially for the general public that probably doesn't know what I'm talking about. Most probably do, but some don't. So the next page is basically, the next page is, am I one behind? Sorry, I'm one behind. Is just another picture of an overview. And the RFP updates, so the backbone construction for Rocky East was awarded to CFOC. The fiber to the home detailed design construction for UBF 3250 and 70 123 East was roll, and the other one that's for the west, which is Ferrier and Nordegg, is roll construction also. They won both very good bids and very professional company. Comes with good news. Our materials, we've awarded to mixed vendors because some vendors don't supply certain things, so it's been awarded to. There's been pieces awarded to different vendors. We have ordered conduit. It's on the way. We have ordered vaults, fiber, all those kind of things. So the intention is to be ready for construction and have our inventory in place before we start jobs, so we're not, trying to run around and get parts. And I think we did rather well in the financial part of it. The open RFPs are still for the Universal Broadband 7119, which is the Caroline area, is still open. The fiber and splicing and testing for Universal, for the Nordegg and Ferrier area, and the detailed design construction for the Wetaskiwin area, for our east areas are both open too, and they're due to, the first two are due to close actually this Friday, and the others is mid-February for the other ones, so that we don't, get one big swamp of a thing. That's about it for updates. As of now, there'll be more rolling in, probably 6 emails right now, probably saying some other stuff.
No worries. Councillor Melhoff?
Thank you, Reeve. Is there an opportunity to, instead of it having the UBF numbers
Sure.
on this stuff, to put the names? Sure. Like, I mean, I know to go back and forth, but I don't know if the general public would have the same understanding.
Yeah, we
to go
sort of
back and
have
forth.
them.
You have them there, and then they're in
maybe.
the paragraphs. But if we can even just bracket so people can,
I can do that.
reference the area, I think that might be helpful. And I thought we renamed some of these already.
Well, you sort of did, but they're really, really long.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And it ended up to be like Rocky East to Wetaskiwin border.
Fair
so
enough.
So I can't
just
fit
too
it on the
long.
page.
Okay, fair enough.
So we've truncated everything, and maybe that's something we can work out and call them. I didn't want to break them into phases because the phases get really confusing for people too. I really wanted to keep the name of the broadband in there so that people, if they wanted to do their research, they could go to the Alberta website or the Canadian website and they can follow along too. So I didn't want to, for transparency, I wanted those numbers out there.
Yeah, no, that's super valid. Thank you. I just, rather than having to flip back and forth, it might be easy to have even in brackets. And then just as a follow-up, with Caroline now being a hamlet within Clearwater County, are we including all the residents within that? Because we're doing the detailed design for UBF 7119.
Yeah.
Does that include
No.
the hamlet?
It does not include it, but we've
Should
asked through ISED and the government of Alberta if it can be included. I haven't gotten any response back yet.
Okay, is that something that we should be looking to take on and make sure
Well,
that those
they're
residents
considered served because
Okay.
they have a couple of companies there already and they have the ability to do that. So we're gonna have to see what ISED and the government of Alberta say,
Okay.
and then we can respond to it, and then we can find a plan of attack to do it, whether it's financed through us or other opportunities with the companies that want to invest in the area, partnerships or something like that.
like a P3 or something?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll try and fit in what it is, but we'd really like to get an answer from the government first, so we know which road, at least we've got which road we can go down.
Perfect, thank you. With hardline fiber being superior, I wouldn't want to leave one piece of our community out. So it'd be nice to, like you said, get an answer to see if we can include them.
Can always ask.
Absolutely, thank you.
Suggestion in regards to the naming, whatever else, sometimes color coding helps too, so I'm just thinking you put a whatever color circle at the end or the beginning of that name, and it just helps identify. So I'm just thinking of, like, through the map of the phases, they're all color coded, so if you put like an orange circle, pink circle, blue circle.
Oh, like beside it, sort of.
Just beside it, so it helps to
Yeah,
reference.
I agree. I'll take
Instead
any.
of the name.
Yeah, I'm not a marketing guy, so this looks good to me.
No, it looks
But
good.
I agree with you, that makes sense.
Yeah. Question on the RFPs. What's been the response?
Oh, lots. Very, very good response to all of them. I went in and counted just for the, I think it was the splicing one, and just counted how many people have just looked at it. Not that they're gonna be bidding, because we don't know the number, but there's over 50 companies. So, and the links are in the email. Everybody can go look at it,
Yeah, I did, I had actually flipped through it there yesterday afternoon and the number of names, it's like,
Yeah, I
great
was starting to
response.
double up my vision.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
good. There's a lot. So it was good. It's good to see that we're out there and people are interested. It's really remarkable because even, 2 or 3 years ago when we put them out, we wouldn't get a whole bunch of responses. Like, well, we were still getting 20 or 30 responses, but not like this. This is fantastic. Better for us.
Absolutely. Any other, Counselor Melhoff? Yeah.
Sorry, one more, thank you. Yesterday, we were talking about the different ministers we're trying to meet with at RMA.
Okay.
And one of those is Minister Glubish.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps there's an opportunity for us, as the local elected officials, to advocate for the inclusion of the
And
hamlet of Caroline in this process.
Any underserviced area that's not on the UBF grant,
Right.
absolutely. Yeah, never hurts.
Is there an opportunity just to have if that meeting is accepted by him, because we don't know for sure, but if it is there an opportunity to have just a quick paragraph, few sentences of the confirmed areas that are not served, so that we can be very accurately advocating for this community? That would be really helpful.
If you can give me some dates, even send me an email as a.
Yeah, Tracy and Jana have all, it's, our RMA is in March, and so we've sent those requests, but yesterday we made a list of what we might want to talk to them about. I think this is something we should be adding to that list.
Couple page summary that we could even hand out to other areas too, not just us, if you handed it, and for sake of argument, you guys are our representatives. If you hand it to anybody else too, it never hurts. Businesses and everybody else, maybe something like that. We could use it as a marketing thing too.
Yeah, but if we get 15 minutes with Minister Glubish, there's an opportunity for us to, especially since you've already asked to have the hamlet of Caroline included. If we're reiterating and he's hearing from multiple directions, sometimes that is helpful. So having the confirmed, accurate information would be helpful.
And I do want to say the government of Alberta, people that we've been working with have been fantastic. They have gone above and beyond to help us sort of fill in the blanks. So they've been really fantastic. So if that can be relayed when you're talking to them, that'd be
absolutely
great.
Excellent. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead, Counselor Gibson.
Madge did make a presentation to the previous Caroline board just before Christmas, and it was well received. So it would definitely be a good thing that if we could have them included, because even though there are certain things in town, or in the hamlet, sorry. I know, it doesn't cover everybody. And this way.
And we do have others that are interested in it, that area for sure, because to be fair, it's all these ISPs look at concentrated areas because it's easy for them to develop the area and they get good buy-in. So we do have others interested. It's just in motions. It'd be things that I would bring back to this committee for decisions.
Okay. So if this is the end of the item, I'll just look for a quick motion to accept the broadband update report for information. Okay, thank you, Councillor Gibson. I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that motion is carried. Thank you. Now moving on to the item B, which is the history and summary of broadband in Clearwater County.
Excellent. Good morning again. So some of it I was not here. Didn't start my job in 2000 here. I would have liked to. Love it here. That being said, this is a sort of a history and a summary of the broadband project, and it's not in any way super detailed. It's just a sort of for the general public and businesses and ourselves, just to sort of go through the history of how we got into this area. So first off, in early 2000s, basically Clearwater Council directed administration to identify broadband system principles that would direct the participation or partnerships in development of rural and wireless broadband. back then in 2004, 2007, wireless was really more dominant than fiber or even coax. In this bit major cities and stuff, you'd have coax cable like Shaw and all those kind of things. But now out in the rural, it was definitely a wireless solution. So basically what we're saying is that, the county's been interested in this for well over 20 years and been working towards these goals. 2005, sort of gonna jump around a little bit here. 2005, the internet service first identified it's a strategic priority for Clearwater County. And they did a motion that, I'll read it. Council approved a plan for the internet service providers to outline their service areas, also have the ISPs prove out the need and the 10-year cost recovery to be part of the plan. That the county fill in the blanks, that the private companies do not and not in competition. Then after the initial 3 to 5 years, exclusive rights will no longer apply. That was a motion, so I couldn't change any of the words to try and deduce it, but it just shows interest, and it really shows that they were still even at that time thinking about the open access network. They were trying not to have a monopoly in here. So that's a good thing. 2009, throughout the access throughout the county, it's important that the council advocate for and lobby for broadband and wireless in the county. So they really were starting to even talk about providing funding for wireless towers for internet. And it was coming into the strategic plans of the county. In February, in this section, council granted support for application authorization to the REEV to sign a letter in support for Rocky Gas Co-op to start, and the Rocky Gas Co-op start a community broadband infrastructure program for the unserviced. I think that's what they meant to say. It's a motion. Council provides a letter of support to Rocky Rural Electrification, REA. I think that's Blue Mountain now, if I'm not incorrect. And for the Rural Development Fund application for funding and facilitate the expansion of broadband in rural Alberta. In October 2009, Hairwave's wireless delegation provided the PowerPoint presentation to council with a proposal for a joint endeavor between Clearwater County and Hairwave's council, discussed the proposal, and reiterated that their decision was to not support only one internet service provider within the municipality. So again, that's that open access. They want everybody to play on an equal ground. 2010, Clearwater strategic plan again reiterates the interest in broadband as in the sector, and look at front money again. And again, really in 2011 and 2012, it goes with the strategic plans, and council will actually, they get to the point where they're talking about researching it and making some plans going forward. If anybody here that was here at these times can chime in, I would appreciate that. And again, I wasn't here for this, so this is all sort of new. During their term in office, this is 2015 to 2018, there was focus on economic services, infrastructure, as well as values, priorities, and direction. The resulting actions, the strategic plan moving again towards the vision of their strategic plan. This is a lot. Clearwater County to authorize a letter to the Ministry of Industry encouraging minister to help connect Canada. Basically, in a nutshell, the Clearwater Council approved it and is interested in working with funding and grants and all those kind of things. If anybody wants to read these online, we'll be posting these online. Agenda and priorities meeting, again, they were, this is where council sort of started talking also in 2014 and them about fiber optics. and suggested that we go down to the town of Olds and see how they're doing their program in that. I do not know if anybody, delegation or anybody ever went down. I tried to find that information and I didn't see that it was done or not, so. It could have been and it might not. And again, Clearwater County Strategic Plan, the theme is growth priority in the local economy. Again, we were looking at final mile connectivity and in the industry for residents and industry in Clearwater County. 2015, sort of the same talk, high-speed connectivity, purpose providing information. And again, basically it's just council agreeing with it and, you know, research, getting into a little deeper as we go. What really happened in this slide in 2016 was CRTC came out with that this is a priority for them, and they called it that they needed minimum speeds of 50 and 10, and that has not changed, which is sort of strange in my way of thinking. 50 and 10 is bare minimum nowadays, but they still consider that a number that they use. So we were directed in 2016 to request for proposal for development of conceptual design, budget, and business viability model, which the company came in and did. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of that company off the top of my head because I wasn't really involved. So I want to say
Director
Taylor Warwick. I was going to say, good thing I Taylor Swift. Yes, I did. Well, she's popular. So, and again, this is where we started. This is sort of where we got involved. During the term in office, council economic development such as broadband and development and Nordic development. So that's really started in 2017 to 2021. That's when we started. There was a survey done for the county, for the residents, and basically it said, you know, it's a go ahead to the council at the time. May 2018 hosted 3 public open houses, one in Nordegg, Leslieville, and Caroline, and that was sort of the outcome. It was a positive thing. In 2019, council reviewed the draft broadband infrastructure master plan and direct administration to conduct further research. So I think that's sort of where it paused at that point, and then we started in 2020. That's when we built out to Ferrier, and it was approved through a partial grant from that. The project is part of the long-term plan to build fiber optic backbone, and really that's how we started. And then in August 2020, council approved the core backbone broadband project 2020 to 2025, and that's sort of what we followed through until we started applying for grants. We sort of put a pause on the finishing of the core backbone for obvious reasons. You know, when we have 75% a partner for 75% of the costs, we have to reevaluate how we move forward. Again, we also were asked at the time in 2020 to build a wireless connection from Rocky to Nordegg. We did the pricing, we did the costs, but it was substantial. It was canceled after that. And the reason it was canceled is because we did get a grant from ISED to build fiber to Nordegg, so that just to build core backbone to there. So for obvious reasons, we didn't build towers for more money. And then in 2021, new election area, council directed administration to engage internet and retail service providers, ISPs. So we went out and talked to the ISPs, asked what they wanted and what they needed. So we could draft a broadband telecommunications open access policy, which we've done. IBI Group was engaged. They're Arcadis now. Arcadis bought out IBI several years ago. IBI Group was engaged to design questionnaire and to keep it at arm's length so that the ISPs and us could talk. We did sign NDAs because a lot of these groups, non-disclosures, sorry for everybody, non-disclosure agreements, so that a lot of these providers don't want to speak in public. They want their recipes to stay their recipes. They have their own ways of marketing, their own ways of doing things. So they didn't want them. And then we found that we had a lot more people want to talk to us at that point because they felt a little more, safe. And then we did do a results to council May 21st, 2020, and that probably, if I believe right, would have probably been in a closed session because of the sensitivity of the material. 2025, it's now. On January 7th, interim council approved a capital budget of 43 million with funding of 28 million through the capital reserves and 14 being funded through restricted surplus transfers as recommended by the Broadband Committee, Strategic Planning Committee, and previous Clearwater County Council. This is sort of what we've built now to date. This is our core backbone that we built. It goes basically from Nordegg down to Olds, through Sundre, Caroline. Obviously, it goes to Rocky Mountain House and out to Ferrier. So this is what we physically have built now, adding to it as we speak. This is something we see on the our update reports, and we'll continue to it in our website. It's just to give everybody what those UBF does, and I'll take that and I'll do in quotes the areas for people like Nordegg and Ferrier and all that kind of stuff, just to make it look a little easier to read. This is a nice pie chart just to see what we're actually getting. So from the grants areas, this is what the Alberta government and ISET are giving us. And then we've got a donated portion that a company has donated for construction. And then there's our portion too, which is the blue. And these are the intention is to post these on the website too, so it's transparent, everybody's got this access. And again, we just show it in another different aspect. Fiber to the home, fiber to X, cost estimated. And then here's the actual breakdown for everybody that loves spreadsheets. And you guys have that in your packet, and probably a little hard to read on there. But again, we're gonna post these online. We're not trying to do anything for transparency. And I think that is it.
Perfect. Anybody have any questions in regards to the history and summary? Boy, excuse me, gazoo tagged today.
Bless you.
There you go. Councillor Northcott.
Alrighty. Yeah, so this was initiated in the early 2000s. However, since the early 2000s, there's been significant advancements in technology. But in this council term where I've sat here, I've never seen or received a presentation of any other forms of access to the internet, such as satellite internet, so the only presentations I've ever received is based on fiber, which could, in my mind, have maybe a biased view. I was just wondering why there was no other presentations for money, with the advancements we've had in technologies strictly being
Well,
fiber
sort of
presentations.
a quick answer to the technology. Until we invent something faster than light, speed of light, fiber's key. It's the answer for now. for speed and bandwidth. The technology to get the internet to the homes, that has advanced, absolutely. There's satellite, there's, you know, better wireless, there's fiber, but the speed of conductivity, until we beat the speed of light, fiber is as fast as you can go.
I just never received any presentations other than just fiber.
Oh, for satellites and stuff, I think there
Any
was,
other technology.
well, the other technology they did receive was like Waves doing wireless and some other places. And I don't know if I remember vaguely that another company from a satellite company came here, but I don't know if I was a participant, I don't know. Maybe somebody else can speak to that.
Okay, Director Hagan.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and maybe I can add from the experience that I've had over 10 years with the county, is that I recall other discussions with council's presentations, that sort of thing, exploring options, not necessarily in detail, but absolutely considering options such as satellite and wireless solutions and so forth. But it always seemed to come back to an understanding commonly that fiber is the longest lasting technology, the most reliable technology. You don't have any latency issues on fiber that you encounter with both wireless and satellite and so forth. As more users come on board, speeds go down. Doesn't necessarily happen with fiber. It's expandable and really gives us a confidence level in at least a 50-year horizon for usefulness, and recognizing that even those other technologies do rely on a fiber component. The satellite services will have earth stations that will need fiber to feed them before the signals get transmitted upward. So all those things are intertwined. What we're constructing here will support some of those other options, but absolutely I do recall conversations of perhaps one option is the county just provides subsidies to people to get Starlinks and so forth. But ultimately it was decided, no, stay on track with this plan and go forward. That's my recollection.
Okay, no, I just never received any information from a professional or somebody that had a competency level regarding any other technology other than fiber. And I just, if I may have one more question. On the one page here, it has urban Canada and rural Canada. And I know that we often, with our neighboring municipalities, such as Rocky Mountain House, we have these agreements and we always talk about collaboration and stronger together agreements and regional benefits. When I sit on, like with FCSS, Rocky Mountain House is considered rural at that point. But when you go to conferences, like there's, you know, they go to, you know, an urban conference. So there's, you know, in healthcare, they're maybe considered rural. So I just, for regional benefits and efficiencies, would you not want to have your urban municipalities that are for efficiencies and have business development so you can have a stronger urban municipality to retain doctors, nurses, teachers, and have those improved services such as swimming pools, walk paths, all that stuff. I don't know, one hand, you know, they're rural, next hand they're urban, but we always talk about regional benefits, collaboration, stronger together. So.
Director Hagan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not sure, Councilor Northcott, if I completely understand your question, but if what you're asking is, has the county explored partnership opportunities with other local municipalities? The county has. Prior to commencing on the core backbone project, the county reached out to the Village of Caroline and to the town of Rocky Mountain House for letters of support and looking at potential partnerships. That didn't go farther. The town, for instance, declined support for that. So the county essentially carried on, recognizing, as Mr. McDonald explained through this history, that improving broadband service was an integral part of the county's strategic plan going forward. So the county continued on, always open to discussions. And we do see now that we've built core backbone right through Rocky Mountain House and heading west, there are internet service providers expressing interest in servicing. So I think there is opportunity both for the town and for the county with that. And then the discussion we had today about the hamlet of Caroline as well. Us going right through there is going to enable that better service one way or another. So certainly those discussions, we're open to them at any time. Our expression of interest portal provides an effective means for those companies to come to us and express interest, or the municipalities to work with us as well. So I think those possibilities are still there, but for the most part, we've been working on our own up to date. But as Mr. McDonald said, we're starting to get a lot of recognition now in the industry. We're starting to get a lot of recognition from other municipalities of what we've accomplished, and they're taking notice, and interest is continuing to increase.
Yeah, just
One more?
sorry.
No, that's,
We do know that amalgamations and dissolutions do happen. I just don't know if, I don't know if this action truly benefits our neighboring municipalities. I'll just leave it at that.
okay. Are there any other questions for Mr. McDonald in regards to the history and summary of broadband? Okay, Councillor Gibson.
Is this done in other provinces, or is broadband only in Alberta?
No, broadband goes across Canada, and across North America, actually. The same universal broadband funds are available to every province and have been used in every province. Infrastructure throughout Canada is being built in fiber, and infrastructure down in the States through the BEAD projects are being built in fiber too. There's billions of dollars going in the States for this, billions and billions of dollars going into fiber in the ground as opposed to other technologies. So it's throughout Canada. I can't think of a province or a territory that it's not involved in.
Jen, I'll get it. Okay, Councillor Cermak?
Yeah, I was just wondering on your estimated costs here. In September 30th, your estimated cost is 43,485,000 change. And in December or January 7th, it's 43,675,000.
Good.
There's a $210,000 discrepancy there.
Yeah.
What caused the increase?
Absolutely. And geez, I have to scroll in because I can't see because I'm old. So the very last slide where that discrepancy is shown, if you can go a little bit to the right, there, perfect, it includes the ER benefits and costs for all the employees and stuff like that. So there's been other costs that have been put into there through that system that wasn't counted before. So, really good question. Good eye.
Director Hagan?
And Councillor Cermak, you may recall through budget deliberations with the Strategic Planning Committee, it's one of the things that we highlighted is that these aren't new costs to the county necessarily. These are costs that we were already incurring within our information technology department. But the basis of the grants gives us eligibility to get funding towards those costs that we were already incurring. So we've moved those into the capital project. They will become a cost rather than an operating expense. Those will now become a cost of the asset that we're ultimately building. And we have eligibility to get increased funding through that. We get that 75% back. So that's a positive opportunity for the county. Even though the cost appears to be going up, the funding's going up as well. So it's funding that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to take advantage of.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Hagan.
There you go. Councillor Northcott?
Sorry. No, just in regarding to Mr. McDonald's comments about billions of dollars being spent on fiber in the US, I think you're correct there, but I have read quite a few documents that are on, it's an unpopular piece of infrastructure. And I have read reports where it's inefficient and not desired, not a popular
Oh,
project.
okay.
Any further questions? If not, looking for a motion to accept the history and summary report of broadband for Clearwater County. Thank you, Councillor Gibson. All those in favor? And that motion's carried. Moving on, are now going to go into closed session, so looking for a motion to go into closed session. Or, sorry, yeah, okay, thank you. Councillor Northcott makes the motion. All those in favor? All right, we just come out of closed session, and through our discussions, we have a couple of motions coming out of the closed session. One in regards to 5A. Councillor Malhoff, please.
Thank you, Reeve. That the committee directs administration to bring back options about connection fees for residential and commercial properties.
Thank you.
Do we need a date on that? No? Okay.
I'm sure they'll want to bring it back as soon as possible. All right. Any other further comments, questions? Call a question. All those in favor? And that motion's carried. And we have a second motion in regards to B. Councillor Meloff?
Thank you, Reeve. That the committee accepts the findings by the ombudsman regarding the complaint and that no action is required.
Thank you. So that, and no further comments, questions, I'll call a question. All those in favor? And that motion's carried. And being as how we're at the end of our agenda, I'll ask for someone to motion to adjourn. Okay, Councillor Northcott. All those in favor? Thank you. Motion to adjourn.